Hello there and welcome to this new series of Power BI tutorials. And in this series, I will teach you the Power BI tutorials step by step as to how to do the data visualization, data analysis, data cleaning and dashboarding within the Power BI utilizing some of the amazing features. So if you are already a user of my channel and have seen my previous video, then welcome to this new series, and you will going to find the same level of or probably a better Power BI tutorials. But if you are new, then you're free to check out my other tutorials like the Tableau or the Click, which I have produced earlier within a series to teach you those tools. So Power BI, so first of all, what is Power BI? And then we will look at why you should really learn the Power BI, and finally how you can get the Power BI. So this question starts with, what is Power BI? So Power BI is a business intelligence tool which is similar to, if you think about from the Microsoft Excel perspective, if you are coming from Microsoft Excel, or if you are coming from Tableau, or if you are coming from Click. All of these is basically the business intelligence tool where Excel gives you a lot of flexibility from the perspective of how you can arrange, visualize the data. Power BI basically takes the next step to further create the dashboards and the amazing user experience, which sometimes is not possible within the Microsoft Excel. So it's the natural step or the natural next step for the Excel users to learn this business intelligence tool, where you can not only do the data analysis, data visualization, but data modeling, and you can automate all of those entire steps, which sometimes is a problematic or pretty manual in nature when you do it. On the other hand, Tableau and Click also provides a similar functionality which is related here in the Power BI, but Power BI has its own advantage of how it does this entire data visualization and dashboarding piece, and you will get to know more about it in this series as to how different it is, how much flexibility you have, and sometimes each tool has its advantage over it, and we will keep on discussing it as we will move forward. So that's first thing, that Power BI is the data visualization and the data modeling tool which helps you take care of almost every aspect of the data which you need to do for the dashboarding and reporting perspective. Now let's go to one more step as to why you should learn the Power BI. So for that, what I will show you is the website. So what I have over here is the Power BI website, which shows its position within the Magic Quadrant, which is produced by the Gartner. So Gartner basically collects this data and produce this on the yearly basis as to where each of the tools are. And if you see, Microsoft is leading, and I believe mainly because of Power BI, because if I remember around 4 or 5 years back, when I was producing the Click related tutorials, the Tableau and Click was really high, and at that time Microsoft really introduced the Power BI, and after that its rating has gone high. And the main reason is this, that because Microsoft is offering this Power BI as part of its entire analytics suite, and comparatively its licensing cost is very much less when you compare with the other vendors like the Click or Tableau. That's why a lot of people, a lot of organizations who already have Microsoft suites, which is probably the case with most of the more Fortune 100, 500 or 1000 organization, they are already going to the Microsoft for buying this. However, there is no denying that other vendors also have the presence, but Microsoft is gaining the advantage because the suite, the analytics suite, is already present over there. So that's one of the reasons why you should learn it, because the analytics suite is already present within the organization, and once you learn it, the chances is that having the knowledge of Power BI will stand you apart from those hundreds of thousands of other people who probably know other tools but not the Power BI. So with that, next step is how you can download and install Power BI. So for this, what you have is this website. So I can give you this link which will help you come to this website to download and install. So once you are on this website, you have the multiple offering like the Microsoft Power BI Desktop, mobile, on-premise data gateway, report builder, and BI report server. But what you basically need is the Microsoft Power BI. And here you have two different options. Either you can click on download or advanced download option. If you click on download, what you need to have is the Microsoft Store. So by default, it is already present if you are running the Windows 10, or in other Windows, you can also have this Microsoft Store. Otherwise, you can get this option where you can directly download from this website. Once you click over here, what you get is basically a different screen. Let me show you that screen. And here you can choose your language and click on download. Down there you also have the information about the details of the file, as the 64-bit setup is 295 and the other setup, which is 32-bit, is of 271 MB. Sorry if I have said byte this. It is 295 MB as it is mentioned over here. And then you have the system requirements and the installation instruction. So once you are there, what you can do is click on the download. Here you will get the file. So what you do is, my recommendation is installing the 64-bit. So you click over there, and then you can have this start installing. And for that we have this download summary as to where we need to go, and then we need to, I'll just move myself, we will click on the next, and this will ask us to, or this will basically pop up this screen where I want to download. So I can come here on the PBI now, desktop download, and click save. Since I already have it, I will not do it again, so I'll just click cancel. But in your case, if you don't have it, then you click on this save. So once you are done there, the installation is very easy, like any other Microsoft application. It's a setup, for example, like this, where once you will double click on the screen or on the software which you have downloaded, then once you double click, you will get this screen and you will click on the next, and it will going to install the software. Once you click finish, what you will going to get is this screen, which is also, in my case, if I show you, this is the screen which I am getting once I had installed it using that simple wizard which was given over there. So once it is installed, you will have this this screen, and we will take it from here. But before I close this, what I will show you is one more information related to this. So if I just go back to this screen, what I am also doing this time to make your life little bit more easy is to capture the information about the videos that I will going to create. So what it has is the different videos that I am planning. So far I have planned 10 videos, as you can see it over here, and I will put the this link in the description as well. So I look for your recommendation as well, that what sort of video tutorial will be useful for you, and then I can produce that. So right now we are over here where we have covered the what is Power BI Desktop and how to download and install it. I will put the link over here so that you can easily get it from the description link. If let's say you are coming here after a long time and probably have produced a lot of videos, this is the good feature that you will going to get, where you can search it easily in the readable file and jump to any of the tutorial that you are looking for. But don't forget to give me your recommendation. Really look forward for what your suggestion is for creating the videos, but I will keep on adding the information on this list. So look forward for this, and I will put this in every video as well. So you will keep seeing that how I'm progressing along with the series. And my plan is to produce as much as possible, but close to 100 is what I'm targeting, the 100 video series, like I did with the other tutorials as well, so that you will get complete information out of the Power BI. So that's about how you can get the Power BI, what is Power BI, and the plan ahead for how we will progress together in the Power BI tutorial. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video where we will going to take a walkthrough of Power BI software. Hello there, and welcome to the next topic, which is walkthrough of Power BI software. This is the second topic in this series. And so far as you can see, I have 10 different topics listed out. And like I mentioned in the first video, if you have any topic that you want to share, then always share in the comment section, and probably I will include that based on when I will going to cover this. But this is a small list. It will going to grow as we will going to move towards or advance towards the various topics. So with that, let's have a quick walkthrough of Power BI software to understand its various components. So whenever we open the Power BI software, this is how the screen comes, where on the left hand side you have some of the options to get the data. Go to the recent sources, Power BI tutorial. If you have created any files recently, it will show that. If you want to open the other report, it will show. Middle section is about signing in into the Power BI, and then option where it shows you want to try free. And then on the right hand side, it shows information about what's new, Power BI blog and forums, and any new event which is coming in, which we can sign up to attend the event. So that's the screen at the very first splash screen that we say. So we can close this from this close button. And then we have this screen which has been divided into many parts. At a high level, this is the ribbon. This is the section where you can switch to the different modes of the Power BI. This is the blank area, which based on the mode we have selected, it changes. And then down here you have the filters, visualization, and fields section to clearly indicate what has been added on the canvas over here, and you can basically create and produce your reports and charts. So at the top of the ribbon, first what you have is the file, which is very common to any file related settings which you must have seen in any Microsoft application, to open, save, close, getting the data, import, export, and then some general settings. Then, like in Microsoft Excel or in other Word related software, you must have seen the home, insert, modeling, view. So insert and home is quite similar. View is similar and help is similar, but based on the requirements of the Power BI, what you also have is the modeling as one of the option over here, because it allows you to do the data modeling. So it has home, like always, it has some important features which you want, and these features may present in the insert, modeling, and view tab as well. So for example, in insert, if you see the new visual or more visuals are present, which is even present over here also. As you can see, the section is given as insert. Similarly, there is a calculation section, there is a data section which is being given over here. So apart from that, in modeling you have the option where you can manage the relationship, you can create new measures, you can create a quick measure, new column, new table, which is also a pretty interesting feature to create any new table manually if you want to create. And then you have the option of changing the direction, creating a parameter, so on and so forth. So we will explore them as and when the situation will arrive. And then you have the view where you can change the layout or the view of the dashboard as per your needs. So like here, if I select this, it will going to change the layout accordingly. And down there, if you see, it has this dark mode, it has this probably grayish or bluish mode that it has. So you can try on with this, and then this mode is where all the blue and related blue colors are present. So we can try with these visualization. The benefit is that when you will create the chart, based on the intensity of the values, it will going to change the colors for the bars or for the part of the charts. Then you have a page view. What sort of view you want, like a fit to page, fit to width, or actual size. So fit to page is a good where it fits based on the width and the height. Then if you are creating something which is related to the mobile, then you can have this mobile layout as well. So mobile layout, once you will click over here, will give you a mobile sort of a look and feel, and within this screen you can create the visualization which will be very similar to how the information will be presented to the end user in their mobile. So to come out, you will click that again and you will be in a normal layout. Then you have the option of grid line, where if you enable, you have the grid line. So some people likes to have a grid line just so that they are pretty accurate as to where they are placing the measures or the slicer or the filters. So we will see that, and then we can uncheck this. And over here, if you see the snap to grid option, which automatically aligns the objects in your report, so you can do that. You can lock the objects so that wherever you are positioning it, you just want to make sure that it does not change the position. Then you have this filters, which if you enable, the filters pane will be enabled for you. Will show you add the data filters over here. Filters on all pages can be added here. And then we have some options for bookmark, selection, performance analyzer, and sync slice. All of that we will see as and when the situation will arrive. And then we have the help section, where you can get to know about your software, what software you are using. So if I just click over here, it will show the information of the version, the user ID, so on and so forth. Then you have the documentation, which will take you to the online library of the Power BI. Here the videos section, where you will see the videos related to the Power BI. Support section, Power BI blog, so on and so forth. Like to submit an idea, if you want to submit an idea, then you can use this. Or Power BI for developers, if you want to extend the Power BI, so you can develop something new in the Power BI. Also down there you have the examples as the partner showcase, some samples, the community galleries, and then finally the consulting services. If you are having some consulting services purchased, then you can basically get those consulting services as well. So this is the ribbon area. Then you have these sections, which is report sections. Right now we are in a report section. Then we have the data section here, the data that will be present, which we will be going to import in coming days. And then there is finally the model section, where based on the multiple tables that is present, we will going to model the data. Then if we come back to the chart section, what we get is the filters section, which I showed you earlier. Based on within the view, the filters are present. If you want to hide this information, you can just click over here and it will be hidden for you. So for now, I'll just keep it. Then we have the visualization section, where a lot of visualization is present, along with the formatting and doing the different settings. Also, finally, you have the fields option to basically list down the fields, the various different tables and the related fields, which we will be showing you, or I'll be showing you in the upcoming visualization tutorials. So that's about how the entire interface of the Power BI, and this will give you some good idea as to what are the different options present. I know in one video it's very difficult when you are starting, but as and when we will move forward, we will be using all of these features, and then obviously we will get to know more about where each feature is present and how to use it. So that's about it. And in the next topic, I will show you how you can import the CSV data inside Power BI. Hello there, and welcome to the next tutorial of Power BI. And in this tutorial, as you can see, we will going to discuss the import CSV data inside Power BI. So let's look at the CSV data, which is a comma separated value files generally extracted from any of the online website or your system that is producing. The benefit is that it is a pretty low formatted file, or file which is having the comma as a separated value, and sometimes you need to do a little bit of work to format it, or sometimes the information is just very clearly present, separated by comma or any other delimiter, which Power BI sometimes automatically detects. If not, we can provide the delimiter as well. So let's see how we can get this comma separated value file inside Power BI, and then we can use it for any visualization purpose later on. Alright, so let's move on to Power BI. Alright, so here we are within the Power BI software, and the option is under Get Data. So we will click on the Get Data, click on the text CSV, and over here, if you see, there are like a lot of CSV files which I have used previously in my tutorials when I was explaining about Tableau or Click. So what we will going to do is simply get any data set. So for example, we have a Boston housing data set which we use for machine learning and all. So we'll just click on this and click open. Once we click open, then Power BI in the backend will start doing some processing and will show us this window, and it will going to detect some information as to the encoding of the file, which is 1252 Western European Windows format. What is the delimiter, which is comma, or if there is any other delimiter that we can select. Suppose if information is not corrected or not properly displayed here, and you are aware as a subject matter expert that what delimiter is present, for example as tab or space or colon, then you can choose this and your information will be displayed properly, like in this case, because comma is present and it has correctly identified comma is the separator. Then you have the option of custom, where you can specify your own custom delimiter. Also the fixed width option, if you remember from the Microsoft Excel, there is a fixed width based on which data is present, then we can even do that. So for now comma is present, so we will leave it to the comma as the delimiter or a default delimiter. Then it has detected the data type. Mostly everything is the number, but if you observe this CHAS, since it has NA, it is left aligned, and generally values which is left aligned is a text value, and all those values which are right aligned and italics, these are numbers within the Power BI, or in other system as well the same format follows. So whenever in interview somebody is asking you as to if the value is left aligned or right aligned, then what format it follows. So now you should know that what format should follow. So this one, if you see, even this one, ZN, and even the LSTAT, okay, all of these follows a particular type of format which is text. In this case, however, the value is present numerical, but in some cases like here you have NA which is not available. That means value is missing over here, and because NA is present, that's why it has detected, or Power BI engine has detected that this is a text value. So it gives preference over there and changes the format of all the values to the text value rather than the numeric value. So we can always do a transformation of the data, but for now we will just simply accept what is coming over here and click on load. Once we click on load, it does again some processing, and your information for your data points will come over here, where if you see sigma basically indicate, or this summation sign indicates that it is a numeric value. If it is not present, then it is a text value. For date value, you will going to see a small calendar is coming whenever we will going to import the date specific field from the data set. Also, there are a couple of features. For example, if you see these options, more options button which is coming, which is nothing but 3 ellipses. So if I just click it over here, it shows if you want to create a new measure, new column, you want to rename this, you want to delete this or hide this. So these are the various options which is present, and little bit different option will be present for text values, as this is not aggregable. So almost like 70 to 80% same, but maybe 2-3 option which is different, which you can set it for the for these text specific field. However, if you see from the import table or the import window, all of this is a numerical information, and we will see in the upcoming videos as to how to remove those missing values, and then how to make sure that all the value which we are bringing in is the correct values, or is in the format which we need. So that's about how you can import, analyze, and finally load the data within Power BI for the purpose of data visualization. And in the next topic, we will going to look at how you can import the Excel data, which is similar to CSV data, but Excel is like more formatted, more things which is done in the Excel sheet, generally used traditionally with the reporting system and all. So we will see how Excel specific data can be we can get inside into the Power BI. So stay tuned for that. Hello there and welcome to the next tutorial of Power BI where I will show you how you can import the Excel data inside Power BI. So Excel, as you would probably know, is one of the favorite within the corporation to host or house the data for your department or for the analysis that you are producing. And many times it happens that we have to import this data inside the Power BI or any other system. So having the knowledge of how to do that goes in a long way as to how to import it. Also, this is the file that I will be using in most of the future visualization. So along with me, it will be great if you can access this file based on the link given in the description. And then we will move along together as we will move on to other charts for the visualization and data analysis. All right, so let's move on and create get the data inside the Power BI. All right, so here we are within Power BI, and as you can see, Excel option is directly given over here, by which we can access the Excel files. So if I click over here, it will give me the option of importing the Excel file. And if you see, sample superstore sales is one of the file which we will going to import, contains a fictional or a hypothetical data set for the superstore is a sort of a grocery store across the different part of the US. And we will going to analyze this even in our future videos. So I'm importing this by selecting this and clicking on the open. And as I would open, it has encountered an error. So because I think I'm using the old version of the file, which was 97 to 2000 format. So to solve this scenario, what can be done is simply saving the file into the most recent format, which I believe is in the 2016 format is the version which I'm using for Microsoft Excel. All right, so here is the file that I'm using. And if I say control this PC and I save it as the Excel workbook, which it will going to take in the default format. So we will just click on save. And now let's come back to the Power BI and again go into the Excel and let's see. So now if you see, we have the two different one. We have the earlier one where we encountered the error, the 97 to 2003 worksheet format file, and then the Microsoft Excel worksheet, which we saved it again. So we are selecting the new file that we converted and click open. Ideally, it should not give any error now. All right, so if you are facing this issue, this is the process that you need to do, and good that the problem came in and I was able to show you what you need to do. So now if I select the orders, you have the orders table presented over here. And if you see, there are two more tables, which is returns and users. We are not using it right now, but we will just going to work with the first table itself. So as you can see, the product based margin is a numeric column. And then there are multiple columns, which are textual column like the customer name, the province, the region, the shipping cost information, the shipping mode. So a lot of data that we have to work with. We have, as you can see, three different options: loading the data, transforming the data. If we need to clean or do any massaging, we can transform it, and cancel. So for now, I will just go ahead and click on load data, which it will going to run the processing and import the data inside. Now, if you see over here on the right hand side, you have the date column, which is along with the date sort of an icon, and then sigma or summation icon that you have, and then values or the fields which don't have any icon, which is a textual data that we have. We can see our data by coming over here in the data tab, and over here it will show us in the form of a table or sort of a Excel spreadsheet, which we are used to of seeing. It may take some time to give you the data back, and after that what you have is the model where the table is present for the orders, and if we add any more table, the information will going to be present. And as you can see, I just selected any particular column. It shows it various properties like what is the customer, what is the name of this field, what is the description, any synonym, if it is hidden or not, what is the data type, and what is the format. Down there you have some advanced option, and where in the table this field is present. So if also down there, if you see this information which is about if you want to increase or decrease the size of the table, just so that you can clearly look at it, you have the option of zoom in and zoom out. Also a couple of more options like resetting the layout or fit to the entire screen is something which is present if we need that. So that's about how we can get this data. Now we will use this data for our analysis. So what I'll do is just save this file as the one where I need to save it. So let me go to my Power BI folder, and I'll probably create this YouTube. It's the one, and then add the file name as the tutorial file. So we were going to use this file, and I hope you were able to get the data along with me. And if you find any issue, let me know in the comments. And if you find this useful, hit the like button. Also share with the on the social media, on the communities or on the groups, so that others can also learn it. All right, so that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next topic with the new video. Hello there, and welcome to the next topic, which is creating first visualization, a bar chart in Power BI and formatting it. So bar chart is also a very common type of a chart, which is something which you have seen in the reports or in the dashboard. And whenever you have to do a comparison of categories as to what is going higher and what is going lower, if you need to do a comparison, then you need to create the bar chart. So for example, if you want to compare the sales across regions, sales across product categories, or maybe the height of multiple students, so in those sort of scenarios, a comparison is needed, and for that you will going to create the bar chart. So let's see how we can create the bar chart and format it within Power BI. Alright, so here we are within the Power BI, and if I just move on to the home, and like I said, I will be using the same sample superstore data for my rest of the videos. And the first chart we want to create is the sales by product category. So what I'll do is I will just check this, and what it will going to create a one simple bar for me. And then I need to bifurcate the bar by based on the product category. So if I just adjust this, now I can see all of my dimension and measure properly, and I will just select the product category. Remember, the chart is selected over here. If it is not selected, it will going to create something new visualization. So make sure your bar is selected, and then we will check this product category, and I will have the chart created for me. Now once the chart is created, as you can see, it is showing you product category on the x-axis and sales on the y-axis, and over here on the top it is showing you the sales by product category. So most of the configuration that it is giving to you is by default or automatic, but you can do the furthermore adjustment. For example, if you need to drag the chart little bit, let's say for example you need to bring it down a little bit here, and if you see this red line, this basically indicates the horizontal divide of the area. So this indicates the upper area, and this is the below area. So if I just again do that, this red line horizontally divide this, and this line over here, if you see this line, this is something which is vertically dividing it. And as you will move or adjust your visualization, so for example, if I just go towards left and if I increase the width of the visualization, then also it will start coming up as I will move to the middle of the screen. So that's the another adjustment which you can do, and take the help of the default or the automatic categorization or the divide of the screen which Power BI is giving to us. Now once we have this information, we can always format this visualization, and to format that we need to come over here in the visualization tab, and within the visualization tab you have this first tab which is axis, right? And then you have the next tab which is format. Over here a lot of formatting option has been given. For example, if you need to enable the data labels, you can enable the data labels, and the data labels are now present over here. Also, you can expand this data label option, and then you will see what sort of color you want, where the display unit by default auto, but if you want like thousands or millions or billions or trillions, you can specify it manually. Excuse me. And then by default auto is, I think, way much better. Now what should be the orientation, horizontal or vertical, like this? I think horizontal is making sense. And then what should be the position? So right now it is outside, but you can have it like inside and earlier we had it outside and, but we can make it inside center, or maybe the inside base over here. Also, we have the option of increasing the text size. If let's say this is something you feel that not very relevant, so we can increase, and you will see the text size has increased accordingly. You can change the font family, and you can enable the background as well. You can give the background color, and you can increase or decrease the transparency, and accordingly your labels will be changed. So that's just about the data labels, but there are a lot of other settings. For example, the title is by default on, and if you see, this is the title text. Word wrap is on, and alignment is important. So let's say we want center alignment, because that's usually what we see when we have the chart, but we have the option of left, center and right. What should be the background color? Right now it is white, but let's say we want light blue to match up with our bars, we can give that, and any other color if you want to give, we can give it over here. Again, text size, we have it. If we want to increase the text size, as you can see, as I'm increasing the text size, this text size is increasing. So there are like a lot of features like the background, border, lock, expect, and then the X and Y axis, very important, because if you see, the X and Y axis values are very small, so we can increase those as well so that they reflect the values correctly. I just changed the X axis. I can go in the Y axis and even increase the text size for that as well. So this is very detailed, as you can see, very much based on the personal style or the style of the organization, based on which we may want to do. But some of the very interesting and important features I wanted to just show you from the formatting perspective, based on which you can create your chart and make sure the right formatting is present. But I'll leave it up to you, the different options that you want to explore. If you have any question, you can let me know in the comments, and I'll try to answer those based on the knowledge I have about this Power BI. But yeah, that's mainly I wanted to show you to how you will going to create your first visualization, make it impactful by formatting it correctly, and we have also seen how you can divide, how you can place it properly within the chart, within the entire canvas. So that's about it for the bar visualization, and in the next topic we will going to look at how we can create the slicer and format it. Hello and welcome to the new topic. And before I dive into this topic, let me ask you this. What would you do in a scenario where you have been asked to create the visualization or any analysis based on the field that is not available in the dataset that you have imported? Well, in that case, think about first of all, what can you do or what you might have done in the past. For example, you have sales or profit, and you have been asked to create a profit ratio based on the sales you have done. Or within the finance department, a very common data item is the expense and budget, and you need to figure out the expense to budget ratio. So what would you do in this scenario? Take a pause and then come back. So I hope you have taken the pause and figured out the solution. Then what you need to do is create a new calculated field, and that's the feature we will going to talk about in this video. As in Power BI, DAX is basically the language or the framework within which we basically provide the, or Power BI provide the flexibility to create new fields, which are helpful to produce these new analyses when the data is not available. So let's go inside the Power BI and see how we can create this. And here is the topic that we are discussing today, the topic number 8, which is creating the first DAX calculated field in Power BI. So let's move on to the Power BI. So here are some of the example scenarios that we have created earlier, and we are right now in the reports pane. And we need to move on to the data pane to create a new calculated field. And over here, what we have is the orders table. If you see, all these fields are related to the order table. And at the end, what we can do is we can create a new field, or by default within the Power BI, when you create a new field, it will be at the end. So to create that, we will right click, and over here we have the new measure, new column, new quick measure. So what we are going to create is the new column, which will going to take each row into consideration for producing the output. And what we will going to create is the profit ratio. Let's say the formula that is being given to us is the profit divided by the sales, and we will put it in a sort of a DAX formula what Power BI provides us. So we will going to create the new column, and it will start doing the processing, and here it will provide column is equal to or column equal to. So we will give this name, the column name, as profit ratio, and we will say sales, or it should be first profit. So profit divided by the sales. So now once we have this, as you can see, this is how simple it is, but it can go very complex, as you will see in the future videos, that a very lengthy calculation that you can write with the combination of multiple functions. So as you are starting, we will go very simple, and what we will going to do once we have written this is press either enter or click on this right side. So we will just click over here and we'll start doing the processing for us. And over here you will see the profit ratio is now calculated, which we can use in our visualization. So to use that, we can come over here, and maybe what we can do is we can create any chart, maybe for example the bar chart, not the stack, but maybe a simple bar chart that we can create, which is also called a cluster bar chart. And what we can take is maybe the product category as the dimension like we earlier created. And for the measure, the newly created measure, the profit ratio is something what we can take. So over here, this is the profit ratio which is present. So if we just add that, so what you see is since there were like a lot of negative values, so a negative profit ratio that is being created, and over here there must be some aggregation that is applied. So right now, if you see, this is something which has been taken as a sum. However, we have the option of changing it to average or to the other variation of the measure that we can apply to it. But that's very quickly how you can produce the profit ratio as the calculation within the Power BI as a brand new field which was not earlier available, but now you have it, which is showing you the information for each row, whether something is in a profit or not. So that's about it. Now we'll meet in the next topic. Hello and welcome to the new tutorial of Power BI. And before I begin this new Power BI tutorial, let me ask you this. Suppose you're providing your end user with a report and they are asking for some interactivity, because after a certain time they are pretty much used to of the report. Now they want to update the report or update the visualizations based on how they feel it is right. So what would you do in this scenario? What sort of component you will going to create in Power BI for this? Take a pause and then come back and think about it. Well, I believe you might have taken a pause and thought about it, and the right answer is providing them the filters. So filters has the ability where you can provide the different types of filters within Power BI. For example, suppose you are reporting to a product business head and there are different product categories, and you want them to select a different product category by which they can update the charts and visualization for their needs. And we will see in this video how we can create the slicers, which is a filter within the Power BI for updating those charts and visualization. So let's get started. So here we are with the seventh topic, creating the Power BI slicer in Power BI and formatting it. And this sheet is present within the description, and I will add the video links as well over here so that you can easily use it. And I will continue adding more topics to this sheet. So make sure that you have this sheet available with you whenever you need it. Alright, so let's go into the Power BI. So here we are within the Power BI, and earlier we created this chart. So what I'll do is select this chart and delete it. So slicer is present over here in this visualization section, and as you can see, the slicer name is present. So what I'll do is I will just click on this slicer, and a slicer blank object is present here in which we can add some information. So like I mentioned, suppose you are reporting to a product business head and they want the different product categories to be evaluated. So for that, what do we have is different product categories fields, as you can see. So what I'll do is if I just expand this using this section header, and as you can see, double arrow is coming, which is allowing us to expand it. So what I need is product category. So two options, either I can check this and this will give us the product category, and I can also drag this up and put it over here. Right now it's already one is already present, so that's why I'm just removing that. So these are the two options, either you can enable this or you can put it over here in the field section. Once you have this, what we need is basically a chart or a table or a visualization on which these slicers or these filter values can be applied. So for that, I'm just clicking outside in the blank area and then selecting a table, let's say. So what I'll do is click a table, and once I click the table, a new table is present here. What I can do is bring it up over here. In this table, let's say what we want is the product subcategory. So the product subcategory is coming, and maybe what we are interested, or what the product head is interested in seeing, is the sum of profit, that how the profitability looks like for the various different product subcategories, right? So now we have this visualization, and suppose earlier only this was present and it was really difficult for the product head that where the office furnishing is or where the paper is related when it comes to the product category, whether it is furniture, office supplies or technology. But now, since you have provided this slicer or this filter, you can click, or the end user can click over here, and all these subcategories which is related to the office supplies is present here. Similarly, if somebody wants to, or they want to select the furniture, all the furniture and their related profit will be coming over here. Now it may be a scenario that they may want to select more than one category, but if you see right now we have this one selection only. So what you need to do is just provide them the information that they need to hold down the control key on the Windows and select the value. In that way they will have the two values selected like this, and it will be the table or the visualization will be updated accordingly. And whatever value we have in the slicer based on whatever selection we are doing, it's not that it is related to only one visualization, but it is related to all the different visualization where it is, which is present here. So if I just click outside and let's say I create one chart over here, the column chart or maybe the stacked column chart. So if I select any of this chart and bring it over here, then if I select, let's say, the customer segment and then the profit, here we have the profit by the customer segment. So if I just select only the office supplies, values are filtered for the customer segment and for their respective product subcategory. And similarly, when we hold down the control key and select the technology, both these values are updated accordingly. Now there is a very recent, in a very recent addition, a new feature has been added by the Power BI, which is creating hierarchies of filters without much of a hassle, just a simple drag and drop. So for example, we have these product categories. Maybe after the product category is selected, they may want to look at in which region this product profit looks like, or how the profit looks like for a particular region. So what we can do is we have this region filter, and when we bring it over here below the product category, what you will see is a small down arrow is being created. So if I just expand it for the furniture, you will see that it is available for the various regions which is present for furniture or for the office supplies and so on and so forth. So for example, if we are only interested to look at the furniture and for Ontario, so if we select that, all the values related to the furniture and Ontario will be selected, and an interesting thing will come out that the small business is the area where you are not making profit but making less. So this reveals some interesting insight as to what is going on with the business, why the home office so profitable, and why the small business is so much in loss, and accordingly you can help them take the decision or take the right direction for making a call as to what do they need to do over here. So this is a very interesting feature, and you can add more categories. For example, apart from this, if you want to add, let's say, the order priority, if you want them to look at, so you will add the order priority. You will see that after the region, another down arrow is being created, and once you open the down arrow, the critical, high, low, medium, all these different type of order priorities is done or created over here. So for example, in the, let's say, in the Northwest territories, we want only the high orders. So this will clearly show for furniture for Northwestern territories what are the orders which is of high priority. So this slicer provides a lot of flexibility in terms of what you can provide it to the users. And if you have the very recent version, so for example, over here in the help, if I see my version is right now the 2.85, which is one of the very recent version and released in the September 2020, you will find this feature. So if in some cases you are not able to see this, that means probably your version is old. So that's about how you can create these text slicer or the text filters within the Power BI to create the hierarchies and provide your user a dynamic interface which they are able to take it to a next level by going into these insights. Now we'll meet in the next topic, which is creating first DAX calculated field in Power BI.
Hello there and welcome to the new topic, where we will going to create the date slicer within the Power BI. So a scenario for this is that suppose you have a dashboard and a report where you want to give the flexibility to the end user where they can select the different date ranges with which they can filter the entire report or the dashboard. Dates has a very important part in the every report. For example, you have a sales for so many years and you just want to compare, let's say, the last 2 years sales, or within a specific period because you may want to evaluate an impact. Similarly, in the HR related reporting, you may want to look at within a specific period how much new joinees have been joined, and then what is their designation, so on and so forth. But the overall idea is that we want to give the flexibility to the end user so with which they can filter the entire report and dashboard via the given dates. So let's look at how we can create it within Power BI. Alright, so here we are within Power BI, and what we will do is we will just drag this little bit down here, and in this space we will going to create the date filter. For that, what we will going to take is the slicer info over here. So we have this slicer which has come here. I will just drag this up over here, and then since it is selected, I will going to select what we have is the order date. So once we click over here on the order date, what you will see a range, date range is being given via which we can basically create a range. So it is starting from 1st of January 2009 and going all the way till the 30th December 2012. So now if I am interested to reduce the range from the start date and from the end date, I want to reduce the date between these two. The entire report and dashboard you will see is refreshed based on this information. And now if you will see over here, we have this information to clear the selection, these small icons if you're able to see. So if we just click it over here, this will going to clear the whatever we have selected or changed within the slicer for date. Now date slicer has a lot of different features. So right now what we are doing is we are finding the date between the two different dates, which has a start date and end date. So all the data between these two dates, and if you see this drop down, the down arrow, we have this between by default selected. We have the various different options like the before, after, list, drop down, relative date and relative time. So let's try selecting a couple of them. So for example, before is something you want to select the end date and you want to be able to adjust the end date. That means the start date is fixed, but you have the flexibility to change the end date. Similarly, the opposite of that is the after. That means the end date is fixed, but you have the option of changing it from the start date to make sure that whatever is present at the end should be fixed, but within that period you want to be able to change the start date. So that's what we are changing it over here. Now if you will see, we have a list. List is nothing but it will give you this list of dates in which you can select, which is quite straightforward. Then we have the drop down. Drop down is especially useful if you want to save some space, but if you will select it, you will find the same list information within the dates within the drop down format. Relative date is a very interesting feature because what happens is it shows you what has been in the last 1 week, last 1 month, last 1 quarter, or last n quarter, like last 3 quarters, and so on and so forth. So this is what it is present, last, next, or this. So maybe last 1, we can change the value of 1 to 2 to 3 or anything. So last 1 days, weeks calendar, month calendar, because there can be a fiscal year as well. So if you have that, then in that case it will be present over here, and by default it provides you the calendar also. So last 1 month is something what we will select, and it will going to display nothing because the data is finishing at 2012, and over here it shows you what is being selected. So from August 29 to September 28 is basically the current date which is going on over here. But overall, you must have got the idea as to how important this is. Wherever you have the most current data and you want to be able to look at the previous week, month, days and years information. So that's about what the different flexibility that it provides us with the dates over here. Now if you will see over here in the field over the date, you have the couple of options, like if you want to rename the order date, or you want to produce a date hierarchy. So once we click it over here, what you will see is the year, quarter, month and date, and over here the hierarchy is now being created. So once I click over here, after 2009, the year, you have the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. If you want to select a particular quarter, that quarter information will be shown to you. But if you want to expand and just want to select Jan and Feb for 2009 quarter 1, only that information will be selected. So using this option, which was the date hierarchy, we get this flexibility where we can produce this information quite easily. So that's another feature that I wanted to show you. But apart from that, you have a couple of formatting options. So if I just go back and just select any 2009 as the visualization, you have a couple of formatting options, like for example, the selection control option that we have, like single select is right now off, and we are able to do the multi selection by holding down the control key. As you can see, this is what it is enabled. But if you want to enable the single select, you will see that it has now changed to radio buttons, That means you are forcing the users to only select the one single option over here. So if I just go down, you will see the various different options that is being present over here, and I will be able to select only one option from the given number of options over here. So I'll just select the 2001. So this is one of the features that we have. We can make it on and we can make it off. However, we have this multi-select with control. Right now it is on. You can also disable it. And there is another interesting feature, which is select all option, because many times it happens that we want to display all of the data. In that case, what we will going to enable this is show all or select all, and as the name suggests, it will going to select all of the data points or all of the filter values, and our dashboard and refresh will be selected automatically. So as you can see, it has a lot of different features, but I wanted to show you something which is related to the selections, as we are more interested it over here. But you have, as you can see, you have items like you can change the font color, you can change the background color, you can increase the text size. If let's say the text size is one of the concern to you, or your organization is following a different type of formatting, then you have the title. If you want to enable the title or disable the title, what should be the title text, so on and so forth, that we can customize, and you can see a lot of different options being given. So I'll leave it up to you, because this may take the whole 1 hour to explain each and everything, but go ahead and explore that, and let me know in the comments if you have any question. I will be happy to answer that. With that, thank you so much, and let's meet in the next video.